Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahawashi, Ba'Shem Rakakbadash. And I want to say Shalom to Yakim Akwat out there pursuing this truth diligently. Coming at you once again with another lesson. And it's the day before, or the night before, I should say, the worldly holiday known as Easter. All right, so Easter, as it is called, is tomorrow. Tomorrow's Sunday, and the day is the Saturday before it. Now, I've been saving this. You can see this was posted on February 23rd of 2026. I don't know if I had it saved necessarily that long, but I've had it saved for a while, right? I think I did have it saved. I think it was, I saw it when it came out. But, yeah, so she said this, Vanessa, Jake with their crazy names, Vanessa Chanta or Shanta, alright? She said, PSA, Easter is not in the Bible, okay? And everybody got all up in arms, alright? And she even says it. You see this guy, Goopy Toots, all these dumbass names, said, Easter is about the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ. So yes, it's in the Bible. No, it's not. No, by that same mean, well, to be fair, Christmas is technically in the Bible. If you really want to get down, and not in a good light, because, they take a tree and they deck it with silver and gold. All right, that's talking about, we'll get there, right? Learning not the way of the heathen. It says that you shouldn't be doing those things. Not that you should be doing it, but technically, if you really, it doesn't say Christmas, but the customs that Christmas has are technically in the Bible, but not in a good light. It's saying that you shouldn't do those things. But Easter is about the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ. So yes, it's in the Bible. Someone said, not someone, Vanessa says, who told you that? It says, do you read? Again, it's in the Bible. Okay, let's see. Let's go and check. Let's go and get the King James Bible online. And let's go and look for Easter. Because Easter's in the Bible, folks. Don't you know? Easter. All right. So, Acts 12 and 4. This is the only occurrence that shows up. It says, and when he had appeared, it says, and when he had apprehended him, he put him in prison and delivered him to 4 quaternions of soldiers to keep him, intending after Easter, there's the word, to bring him forth to the people. Okay, now let's read up. Let's get Acts 12 and 4. So Acts 12, meaning. Or actually, let's go and specifically get Acts 12 and 4. Because I know people bug out over that. So, it says, Acts 12 and 4 depicts King Herod Agrippa and the first, imprisoning Peter under maximum security, 16 soldiers in 4 squads following James' execution. Herod, he's an Edomite, all right, that's the really the progenitor of the modern Edomite people, really, as being, Europeans, because he was over the Romans, and after the Romans, they got dissolved into Europe, and then the Europeans called themselves Caucasians. And anyway, the modern European stems from the Herodian dynasty. Anyway, and he was an Edomite. It says, Herod intended to publicly execute Peter after Passover to appease Jewish leaders. It highlights intense persecution, the power of prayer against human cruelty, and sets the stage for miraculous deliverance. So, the timing, Passover / Easter, and no, they're not the same thing. All right, we're gonna get this all under wraps. All right, because I know somebody's like, gotcha. No, you didn't. All right, it's the same thing if we just read. Let's go and get it. We'll get back into it. Don't worry. It's somewhere here. Right? That's like if instead of getting so this is Jeremiah 10 and 2 through 4. That's like skipping 2, All right, well, you really wouldn't be able to, unless you didn't know it was vain. But in 3, it says, for the customs of people are vain. For one cutteth a tree out of the forest, and the work of the hands of the workmen with the axe. They deck it with silver and gold. They fasten it with nails and with hammers, that it move not. Okay, now here's the thing. Now, getting back into Acts. Okay, now let's scroll. Where is Acts in? Acts is in the New Testament, okay, which is in Greek. All right, when you have the Greek, there's certain words that are going to look a little crazy, and they're going to seem like it's accurate, but they're not. For example, one of the versions that's used within the Bible is Tartarus. Okay, now is Tartarus something that we should believe in? All right, Tartarus. Should we believe in Tartarus? Tartarus is Greek mythology. It's a primordial deity in a deep abyss, used as a dungeon of torment and suffering for the wicked, and a prison in the Titans, a prison for the Titans in Greek mythology. So does that mean that the way the Bible is using it means literally that Tartarus is correct, and there's actually a god named Tartarus, and it's a place where you suffer for, and all the wicked suffer forever, and that all the Titans are in there, and it's deep in the earth? No. No, but the Bible does say Tartarus. All right, again, let's prove that. Or actually, let me use the King James. All right, let's look up Tartarus. Come on now. Come on, man. Tartarus. Okay, it's not technically in here, but when you get it, let me go and look up hell. Actually, I was right to go to the Blue Letter Bible. Let's see. Strong's Greek Tartarus. Blue Letter Bible. Okay. You see it used. This is where translation and clerical errors can persist. All right, they can happen. So 2 Peter 2 and 4, it says, for if Yahweh spared not the angels that sinned, but cast them down to hell, and that in itself is a stumbling block for people, but it said, and delivered them into chains and of darkness to be reserved unto judgment. That's where it stopped. But it talks about the word hell. Hell has G 50 and 20. Now, there's we've done breakdowns on this before. Sometimes you see the word hell and it goes back to Gehenna, meaning the place of future punishment. Other times it can refer to other things. All right, one of the other things it can refer to is, in this case, hell 5020. Going back up, Strong's G and 5020. Let's listen to it.
Strong's G.
I don't know, it's not working, or maybe it did say it, but I don't know, I can't hear it. So it says here, in this, if we're going off of 2 Peter 2 and 4, off of the Strong's, it would mean the deepest abyss of Hades, all right, eternal torment and cast down to hell. So is that correct? No, it's not. Again, translation errors, okay? So it goes back to Hades. Now, if you look up Hades, what is Hades? All right, not the video game. Not the game. So Hades, first of all, okay, is an Olympian god of the underworld. Oh, a god, all right? And on top of that, it's also a place. It also refers to the place that he dwells. It's dealing with God of War, isn't it? Oh, and God of War. So never mind. Not God of War. Oh, why did it fucking add that in? God damn it. Can we just get Hades, just the word Hades, without the goddamn game showing up? Good Lord. Anyway, we got to go to the Wikipedia. Okay. Hades, in ancient Greek religion and mythology, is the god of the dead and of riches and the king of the underworld. And the underworld that he rules over, allegedly, it's bullshit, is also called Hades. It's called as Hades. But that's in the Bible. So does that mean Hades exists and that he's rolling over and there's a place called Tartarus and, you got to go across the river Styx? Any of that? No. But it's in the Bible, technically, right? When you get what that root word means, it's technically in the Bible. So is that what it means? No. All right. Again, it's a transliteration that was used because it was in the Greek. Okay. Now in the Hebrew, all right, you'll see And bear with me just a minute. Fuck, yeah, I didn't see that we were rolling up to a drive-thru. But, in the Hebrew, you won't see, all right, for example, the word Easter, all right, because it was in the original Hebrew. And I don't know if you know this or not, but that's our language is Hebrew, not Greek, okay? So, again, there's going to be some translation, not errors necessarily, but discrepancies, all right, that were used because of people at that time, okay? Concepts that were around at that time. And so you'll end up with words like Easter or Tartarus or Hades or certain different things. Now, if we go and look, now here's the thing, people want to use that as a pass. If you want to use that as a pass to go and celebrate Easter, hey, go right ahead, right? But that's not what it is, okay? Because if it's directly referring to Easter as Passover, okay, Passover does exist. We're currently, in that stint, right? So we're currently in the Passover as we're speaking. I mean, we had the first day, and then you have the rest of it, and then the first day and the last day are the most important days. Okay, and we're currently in the middle of that. Okay, because the first day had already passed. So, but why aren't we going and making Easter baskets and dyeing eggs and looking for Easter bunnies and eating chocolate? Why aren't we doing all those things? Right? Because again, that's nobody's doing that. That's not part of the Passover, but it's a part of Easter. And why is that? Why is that a part of Easter? Because Easter, as it's known as, all right, regardless if it was in the Greek in the Bible once as a really, as you want to get down to it, a translation discrepancy of what the Passover is, because that's the only time it was used. The only time it was used. Okay. All the other times refer to Passover as Passover. That time it refers to it as Easter, okay? But let's go and see. Because it's in the Bible though, so you can since the word's in there, right? In Acts 12 and 4, intending after Easter bringing forth the people. That means you can celebrate Easter because it's in the Bible, right? That means homosexuals in the Bible. That means you can be a homosexual too, right? Because it's in the Bible. No, you got to understand what the context is talking about, okay? The homosexual is bad. In this case, Easter is referring to Passover, not as the so-called worldly holiday that people know today as Easter. Okay, so let's go and see. Let's go and see. All right, we could be wrong. So, what is Passover? Okay, Passover or Pesach is a major 8-day Jewish holiday. It's an Israelite holiday. 7 in Israel, all right? It says starting on the 15th of Nisan, and it is 7 days. It says that commemorates it might be 8 days, actually, because it started on the 1st, and then it ends the 8th. So, I said technically the count is the 1st. Anyway, it says that commemorates the biblical Exodus, where Israelites were freed from slavery in Egypt. So, it says it celebrates freedom, featuring special meals, a Seder, the prohibition of leavened bread, all right, and the eating of matzah. All right, well, there's some of the Jewish stuff, but really it's the wine and the bitter herbs and the lamb. Okay, so and with that, certain verses being read. All right, and then of course it's a solemn assembly. It's a time to remember, the sacrifice that Yahweh Shai made, and and so on. So what is Easter? Let's go and change that up. What is Easter, and how is it celebrated? Easter is a major Christian holiday celebrating the resurrection of Jesus Christ 3 days after his crucifixion. So if you go off of that, first of all, it's not celebrating Yahushua, mind you. It's celebrating Jesus Christ. Okay, Passover, all right, is celebrating Yahushua. Easter is celebrating Jesus Christ. Okay, that's what it's celebrating, Jesus Christ. Okay. And then the Jewish holiday, they don't believe in Jesus Christ, all right, or Yahushua, so they celebrate God, all right, helping them, okay. Well, really, not, it represents, it's also representative of rebirth, okay. But also, for Passover, it's representative of the Exodus, which Yahushua was still there. All right, because Yahushua was the spirit of the angel of death. Right, the apostles will tell you that. All right, so he was still there. So yes, and in a sense, yes, he helped us out of there as well through, with the power of his Father as well. Right, but Easter is a major Christian holiday celebrating the resurrection of Jesus Christ 3 days after his crucifixion. It marks the end of Lent, a 40-day period of fasting and reflection. Celebrations include church services, family meals, and secular traditions like egg hunts, the Easter bunny, and symbolizing new life. So egg hunts, Easter bunny, and new life. So that's what Christians say. Well, that's why I celebrate it. I've had a lot of people try to tell me that, I celebrate it for a different reason. Well, you know what I'm gonna start doing? I'm not gonna do it, but I'm just talking out my ass, being a jokester. But I'm gonna start. What's a holiday? Let's see. What's a holiday? What's a holiday that means a lot to someone? Let's see. What's a holiday? I'm gonna take I'm gonna take Christmas, all right, and I'm gonna celebrate Christmas, right, from now on. But I'm not. I'm gonna call it. It's gonna be called Christmas, but really, I'm just gonna take that as a time for me to go skateboard, eat chopped cheeses, and color in a coloring book. But I'm gonna call it. Because I'm gonna celebrate Easter, but I'm gonna do it a different way because I don't celebrate, or Christmas. I like Christmas, but I don't do it for the reason they do it. I keep Christmas as a different reason to do color books. See how fucking dumb that sounds? You're either keeping it or you're not. All right. And Jake does that. I don't keep Christmas because of I don't keep Easter for those reasons. I keep it because it's for my family and for the kids and for the no, that's stupid. All right, that's dumb. All right, it's completely retarded. But you do you at the end of the day. So it's an important Christian festival. So anyway, but let's go. That's what Christians say. What is Easter? Let's just go and look up Easter. Okay. Let's go and look up Easter. Or actually, I already have it up. All the way at the beginning, top. Easter. Okay, Easter, also called Pascha or Resurrection Sunday, is a Christian festival and cultural holiday commemorating the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ, right? Jesus never died. Yahushua did. Or Yahushua did, excuse me. So Easter, also called Pascha or Pascha, all right, you see it. So let's go down what it means. It's preceded by Lent, of course. But what do we do? Celebrations, Easter egg, decoration, gift giving. So let's go here. Let's see. There's a lot of stuff here. Oh, what's this? The English term may derive from the Anglo-Saxon goddess term Yoster. Passover is linked to Jewish Passover. Easter is linked to Jewish Passover by its name, Hebrew, Pesach, or in that one time in Greek you saw it as Easter. It says by its origin, according to the Synoptic Gospels, both the crucifixion and resurrection took place during the week of Passover. Okay, correct. So it says, in most European languages, both Christian Easter and Passover are called by the same name. So just because you call them by the same name, don't mean that it's the same thing. Easter and Passover are completely two different holidays. Okay. All right, what else do we have? Easter traditions vary across the Christian world, include sunrise services, late-night vigils, exclamations, exchanges of paschal greetings, flowering the cross. That's not something you do. That's not something that's done in Passover. Easter bonnets worn by women. That's not done. Clipping the church. What is that? I've never even heard of that. Holding hands, inward-facing ring, and then no, that's not a thing, right? What else? The decoration and breaking of Easter eggs. That's not a thing. The Easter lily. That's not in Passover. Passion plays, that's not in Passover. Easter parades, nope. Easter bunny, that's not in Passover. Egg hunting, that's not in Passover. Traditional Easter foods. What are Easter foods? Lamb, that it? Yeah, that does, yeah. So lamb would be correct. So, but yeah, so what That's not Passover. Passover is correct. Easter is not. So where did the idea, all right, Easter origin? It says Easter combines Christian beliefs and the resurrection of Jesus with ancient pagan festivals celebrating spring, fertility, and renewal. And mind you, that's why they use the egg. The egg is a symbol of rebirth. The egg is the symbol of fertility. Okay? The name likely derives from Yoster, the Anglo-Saxon goddess of spring, while traditions like eggs and bunnies symbolize new life, often merging the religious observance of Passover and the crucifixion. There ain't no Easter egg hunt and no Easter bunnies, all right, with Passover. So no, is Easter in the Bible? No. Is the word in there once? Yes. But is Easter as a tradition in the Bible as it is held? No. No, it is not. Is Passover? Yes. Okay? So again, Yoster. Yoster is a Germanic goddess of dawn, spring, and renewal. Okay? There you go. So, wrong. Wrong, wrong, wrong. So going back. Okay, and bear with me. What do people have to say? Come on now. So right here it says, y'all up in arm about these comments, but have yet to prove where Bible says anything about Easter. The Passover is not the same thing. Show me proof. They'll probably only get that one scripture. Says, oh, you smart. I like this post. Passover and Easter are definitely two different things. I love it. They are two completely different things. Right? The KJV literally uses the word Easter in the books Acts 12 and 4. That's it. And what is it referring to? Passover. Not what you're celebrating and calling it Easter. All right. Nowhere does it talk about decorating eggs and decorating and doing an Easter bunny and having these big hats and doing all the what do they call it? The pastel color decorations. No. Okay. No. It says if that's the case, Christmas ain't either. It's celebrating the day Christ was born, and he wasn't born in December. What are you talking about? He wasn't born in December. He was born during this time that we're in now. All right, that's why he died and resurrected in the same time. All right, it was a full rebirth. So it says just the same day he died, just the same as the day he died and the resurrected, making this Easter. Hope this helps. Easter is a pagan holiday, period. Jesus' resurrection is entirely different. No, it's not. Well, it is. Yes, you're right. It is entirely different. But let me say this. Because militant Christians try to conform one into another does not make them one and the same. Jesus has no connection to Ishtar. There we go. That's the other thing. The god Ishtar. All right. There you go. I don't know all the details you're referring to, but I'll read on it. Of course you don't know the fucking details. Okay? That's why you're celebrating the shit. And you'll read it and go, well, it's for the kids. All right. And look at this. This is what, if you want to know someone that doesn't have nothing, look at her. She don't even know how to wear her natural hair. All right. I can't tell if that's a silk press or that's fake hair. Looks like it could be a silk press. But anyway. It says, and then this person says, you're right. Christmas isn't either. You're right. You're trying to say, oh, by that case, Christmas isn't. You're right. Christmas ain't either. Right? But you're going to keep on trying to justify it. Right? That's all these people are doing. She thinks Passover is the same thing as resurrection, apparently. I don't think we're having the same conversation. Nope, I'm repeating what people are saying. I know all about the resurrection of Passover. Neither is Easter. It's true. Easter is a celebration of the resurrection. So yes, it's in the Bible. No, it's not. Some lady with zero credibility probably opened the Bible like twice in her life trying to tell us about the Bible is wild. You don't know what Easter is if you don't think it comes from the Bible. The resurrection, it's not in the Bible. It's not. The word is, but the celebration is not. Okay, so Exodus 20 and 3 through 5, going back to Eoster, or Yoster, or Ishtar, we can get that as well. Ishtar, ancient Mesopotamian goddess of love, fertility, and war. Why do you think it's fertility? Okay, and then there's Eoster, or Yoster, which Google literally tells you that's what the name is derived from. It's an Anglo-Saxon European, all right, it's an English word. Easter, Yoster, all right, goddess of spring and dawn. So it's a false god. So going back to Exodus 20:3, what does it say? Thou shalt have no other gods before me. But you set one up, all right? You set them all up, okay? Because you don't care. Same thing with Sam Hain for Halloween, okay? It says, thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, the Lord, thy power, am a jealous power, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me. And it's the same thing with the Nimrod tree. All right, the Christmas tree represents Nimrod, and you bow down yourself to get under that tree to get those presents. You know, another thing is, you ever notice that to get an Easter egg, you have to bow down? To pick it up off the ground, you have to bow before the egg. To actually pick it up, you have to bow down onto the ground to pick that egg up. Again, man, you're bowing down yourself before these idols, man. And hey, go ahead and celebrate Easter tomorrow. Go ahead. We don't fucking care. But when you wake up dead, all right, don't come running. You can't wake up dead. Obviously, all right, you just die. But when you wake up dead, I'm going to say it again. When you wake up dead, don't come crying to us. Okay? Jeremiah 10:2-4. Thus saith the Lord, and it said, mind you, Anglo-Saxon, that's Edomites. Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven. For the heathen are dismayed at them. For the customs of the people are vain. For one cutteth a tree out of the forest, and the work of the hands of the workmen with the axe. They deck it with silver and with gold. They fasten it with nails and with hammers that it move not. So go ahead and celebrate Christmas, because it's in the Bible right there in 10:2-4 saying that you shouldn't do it. All right, it's useless that you're doing it, but go ahead, because it's in the Bible, right? Oh, it's in the Bible that because it's to Jesus Christ, you can do it. So I can chop off people's heads and wear them, tied to around my neck as a necklace if I just do it in the name of Jesus Christ, because it's for Jesus, so I can do it. It's for Jesus. Jesus ain't even the real name, okay? So, and I'm not gonna even go into that again, because it's 2026. If you ain't fucking got that, then you're done, man. You're done. Okay, the name the J didn't even exist until the 1520s. Okay, so go and look that up. So how could his name be Jesus? And in the original Bible, it wasn't Jesus. It was Iesus. Excuse me, Iesus. All right, which is a bad translation of the Hebrew Yahushai. Okay, so Proverbs 3:31. Just rattling these off, and we're gonna close out, because I don't really don't even need to waste a whole bunch of time on it. At the end of the day, I do these lessons every year just to show you that Jake shouldn't be celebrating the shit. If you go and do it, hey, that's fine. Blood's off our hands. But if you find this lesson, you still go and you celebrate it. Don't be surprised if you die, your family dies. Don't be surprised. Proverbs 3:31. Envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways. But you chose all of his ways. You chose Easter. You chose Christmas. You chose Halloween, right? You chose Valentine's Day. You chose all these different things, right? Every single one that you could, right? So don't come running to us when you right? Don't come crying to us. This is Matthew 15:9. It says, but in vain do they worship me, teaching for doctrines the commandments of men. These aren't doctrines, okay? Just because the word Easter is in the Bible doesn't mean Easter is in the Bible, okay? The word Easter is in the Bible, but Easter as the celebration is not within the Bible. Easter is not in the Bible. It exists one time as the word that is referring to Passover. So Easter, as you know it, does not exist in the Bible at all. Christmas does not exist in the Bible. Valentine's Day does not exist in the Bible. Thanksgiving does not exist in the Bible. Now, it says the word Thanksgiving. Is that referring to what you call Thanksgiving? No. It says the word Easter. Is that referring to what you call Easter? No. It's referring to Passover. And Thanksgiving is talking about Thanksgiving, giving thanks. Okay, not a holiday. But the word's in there, though. Yeah. Okay. That doesn't mean anything. Just because the word's in it, what is it referring to? Okay. Thanksgiving isn't referring to the holiday. Okay. And Easter isn't referring to Easter as the holiday. It's referring to Passover, which you're not keeping. You're doing the ones with the rabbits and all this birth and rebirth and all that stuff. And what is that dealing with? That's Yoster. Okay. That's celebrating a Anglo-Saxon false god. All right. A goddess, mind you. Feminine, it's female worship, and on top of that, it's idol worship. So, but hey, you do you, though. You do you. Isaiah 8:20, to the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them. And you're speaking, you don't get it. All of them saying, it is in the Bible, it is. It's Marksman Jesus. Well, no. Just because in the name Jesus is a false name that's in there. All right. Now, when you say Jesus, that when you see Jesus in the Bible, that man does exist, but he exists as Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. Okay. Jesus Christ is Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, not Christ HaMashiach, not Jesus, Yahweh Shai. Okay. So, but again, when you go and look up Jesus, the name's in there. Yeah. But go and look what it represents. It represents a white man with dirty blonde hair, with blue eyes and long hair. Okay. And pale white skin. All right, a leprous skin. White is, as you would say, but it's not white. It's red, really. All right, blood showing forth through the skin. If you look in Revelation 1 in verse 14, tell me if that's the same man. Tell me if that's the same Jesus that you worship. It's not. So that's where we're going to close it out with. Those that are going to get it are going to get it. Those that are not going to get it, they're not going to get it. They've stayed not getting it. All right, and most of us at this point have been in this truth for a while. All right, and we already been known. All right, but in case anybody's, waking up now, you still have a chance. Don't celebrate that shit tomorrow, and, go about your day. Okay, so that's it. All right, we're going to close out then. And a little disclaimer, if you live in a house and other people are celebrating Easter and they make a dinner at the end of the day, you can eat that dinner. All right, if they tell you to come outside and watch the kids, they picking the eggs up, Trevel. All right, well, guess what? You can go out there and do it, but you shouldn't be picking up no eggs or nothing. All right, if they get you a basket, all right, with your grown self, or even if you're a kid, not kid, 14, 15, they want to get you a basket still, go ahead, open the basket, right? There's not the same thing with Christmas. You can't, fuck you, Mom, I don't want this shit. Just tell them, hey, I don't really celebrate this. I'd appreciate it not, but, thank you anyway, right? And take it and, begrudgingly take it and, accept it in humility. That's all you can do. You can't throw it on the ground and smash it. You can just cause more issues for yourself, okay? Try to live peacefully with all men, as the Bible says. But again, let it be known that you don't celebrate none of that stuff. Let them know, if you can, if you're underage, they're probably not going to listen to you anyway. Just like, that stuff's, I worship the Lord. I don't want to do anything that's pagan. And well, baby, we've been doing, I just don't, look, I don't want to, the Lord scares me. I don't want to do it. And, it just makes me comfortable if I didn't, Ma. All right. And if she's still an asshole about that, then, she's an asshole then, right? Not much you can do about it. So, that's where we're going to close out. Lord, what was edifying. Again, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High. Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Akakwadash. Shalom, you brothers and sisters out there. Keep enduring. Keep the faith. We're almost out of here. Till next one, Lord willing. Shalom.